everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today is part 7, the final entrance into my 7-part mini-series, Bullet Journaling for Beginners, an introductory guide to bullet journaling. So today we're going to be talking about some bullet journal hacks. If you're not subscribed, be sure to hit that red button down below, get the notifications. Just because we are done with the series doesn't mean that this YouTube channel is going silent. I still post videos every single Thursday, with the exception of this coming Thursday. I will be taking just a short hiatus, but don't worry, we'll be back next week. And so make sure that you subscribe, hit those notification buttons. All right, so we've made it to the end of this series. You have gone from knowing nothing about bullet journaling to having your very own bullet journal. If you followed along, we started off learning how to start a bullet journal from a blank notebook, learning how to create weekly, daily pages, monthly pages, collections, habit trackers, all of this other stuff. You've learned about supplies that you can add to your bullet journaling experience. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about some bullet journal hacks, some pro tips, if you will. And there's a lot of different things that people have done over the years to increase organization, productivity within their bullet journal. I know that the idea of a bullet journal is to increase productivity, but here are just a couple of ways that you can do that in addition to, the normal bullet journaling. Okay, so if you search bullet journal hacks on Pinterest, you will find a million different things. So I compiled a list of some of my favorites, and a lot of them, surprisingly, I was already using, which is cool. And so we're going to look at some of them. And the first one I want to talk to you about is washi tape. Now, I've talked about washi tape multiple times on this channel from you can use them for a huge variety of different things, from hiding mistakes to adding some color and creativity to putting pages together, making them easier to find, using them as bookmarks, whatever. So we're going to talk about a couple of different ways that you can use washi tape in your bullet journal that are productivity based, not necessarily artistic based. Okay, so the first thing that I always do on my months is I put the washi tape on both pages. This kind of separates each month. During August, I was using washi tape on my daily pages, and on the weekly pages, so there's a little bit more craziness going on. But going forward, I'm only going to be doing them on the monthly pages, so that'll make it very easy for me to flip to the beginning of a month. All right, so these pages, they end up getting a little bit thicker because they have the tape. And there's a little bit of a color difference. If you notice, during August, I use very bright colors, and then I'm using kind of a darker, going with a lot of black and white for September. So it kind of separates the months out a little bit. Okay, and then, if I can find it, there it is. So I was using washi tape. It looks like I'm using it as an artistic, making the spread look a little bit prettier, but in all reality, I misspelled something, and so washi tape covers it up, fixes it up very nicely, and honestly, you would never know. This actually is an Instagram pic. This spread is on Instagram, and so you would have never known that this page started out as a huge mistake. All right, and then I'm going to show you how to not cover up pages, but close them up so that they're not pages in your journal anymore without having to rip out pages. So this is a notebook that I've had for years, and I needed a new long form journal. So I think I used maybe 4 pages from the beginning of the year just for random notes, all this other stuff. So I don't want that in my long form journal anymore, because then it looks like I went from January to July. So what we'll do is take this washi tape, and when you're doing this, you want to have a little bit of a thicker one because you're going to be putting half on each side. So what we're going to do is you're going to put it on halfway onto the page so that there's a gap here. Tear it off so that way you're not worrying about the rest of the roll. And then find the last page of the things you want to cover up. And there you go. You can tear or cut these off. However, whatever works for you. You can fold it over. Whatever works. All right, so now when I open up my journal, boom, that's the first page. All right. Also kind of lets it have a little bit of a color when your book is closed. So that's a really good way to implement using journals that you've maybe have bought a long time ago and only used a few pages. I am notorious for buying notebooks and not using them, or using them for one specific project that gets started and not finished. And then you should see my bookshelf. It has tons and tons of notebooks that have maybe like 10 pages filled out. And so this, if you don't want those pages in your journal or your notebook, you just washi tape them together, and there you go. All right, so the next hack is being able to mark your pages. Now, the Leuchtstroms do have multiple ribbons in their notebooks, but if you're getting a budget bullet journal, it probably is only going to have the one. Now, if you're like me, you want multiple pages bookmarked so that you can find them very quickly. So there's a couple of different ways to do this. The easiest way is just a simple paper clip. Okay, so let's say that I wanted my monthly spread bookmarked. I don't usually, because I don't usually need it that often. Let's say I did. You can just put this right here. You can have it stick up a little bit, push it all the way down, whatever works. And then when you go to look for your book, you feel that bump and it's right there. The other option is to make your own bookmarks. And I talked about this in an earlier video. This is just hemp cord. It's a jewelry charm, and it actually makes 2 different bookmarks because it's just one piece of paper or one piece of ribbon folded in half. All right, so I have this one on my brain dump and then on the current week. So this one stays in the same spot all the time. This one moves every single week. And then I use the one that comes with the book on the day. Okay, so the next thing that I want to talk about is color coding. And there's several different ways that you can do that. The first is just to color code the certain page, different pages. So if, for instance, you had a budget tracker, then you would, highlight it green if that was your color for finances. For me, I do things a little bit differently. I don't like the colors on the pages specifically. I feel like you wouldn't be able to see it because of all of the different kind of tape. So I do things a little differently. I use my key, and hopefully you can see that. But basically I have different colors that signify different parts of my life. So I have personal, I have work, morning routine, blog, content creation, and social media. So, and that's like working on, promoting videos, blog posts, that kind of thing. That doesn't necessarily mean like my normal time on Facebook. So if you see, so we'll look at my time tracker. So there's no words on here other than the numbers, but you can tell exactly what was going on throughout the day based on those colors. I use the same colors throughout the entire journal. And then on my dailies, which is my ideal day, I have the same colors on here. And so if you look like from 10 to 12:30 today, I had an personal appointment. And then if you look down at my dailies, it was, I have a car appointment. All right, on the same topic of keys, if you put your key in the very beginning of the book, sometimes it's hard to flip back to if you're relatively new to the key or if you change it up. So there's a couple of different things that you can do. If you are in a traveler's notebook, you can just put it right in the front. And that way, if you're in any of your TN inserts, you can still use that same key without having to go back to the bullet journal. The other option is to put it as a fold out. And I recommend, especially if you're going to be doing the color keys or the color coding, that you do it on a white piece. But this is what I had, so I just wanted to show you. So I just washi taped it to the inside of it, and then it flips out. So that way when you're on your daily pages, then you can still see it, which is kind of cool. All right, who here has lost their pen? I have. When I first got the Tombow Mono drawing pen, I lost it. I was not in a traveler's notebook. I was just in this notebook, and as you can see, there's no pen holder. I was kind of devastated. Fortunately, it was just in my car. It was hiding. I found it. It was all good. But what do you do when you're just in like a normal notebook and you don't have a pen holder? There are some Pinterest hacks that you can do to make a pen holder out of a binder clip. However, a super easy way to make a pen, super easy pen holder is just to take your strap and put it over like this, rather than sitting it like this. Now it does stretch the elastic a little bit, but not to the point where it's too terribly noticeable. And then what you do is you just stick your pen right in there. And that keeps your pen together. Okay, the last thing that I want to talk to you about, the last hack, is not really a hack, it's just kind of an idea, and that is the idea of Post-it notes and using them in your bullet journal. Now, Post-it notes have always been a friend of mine. In fact, that's where I wrote most of my notes prior to bullet journaling, is I would just write it on a Post-it note and write it on the wall. I've evolved. But I still use Post-it notes a lot in my bullet journal. Most predominantly in my meal planning. And this is a newer spread, so I haven't quite finished it yet. But I wanted to make a spread for the entire month rather than having one for each week. So I have these little tiny Post-it notes, and I have them in multiple colors. And I'll just kind of put, okay, so chicken recipes here, beef and turkey, veggie and fish, just a whole bunch of them, meal plan ideas. And then I can move them from month to month. And then I can move, pick a recipe and put it on here. All right, and then that is my meal plan for the week. I'm able to recycle this page every week rather than having to create a new one, because nothing irritates me more than making the same spread over and over and over again. I like to be able to change things up, but once you find a meal plan that works or a spread that works, you don't really want to change it. So I put this at the beginning of the month, and then I can kind of recycle it. All right, and then I have these larger Post-it notes, and I use those for grocery lists. So I can either put it on the weekly, whatever, however I want to do that, stick it in my bullet journal, and then I can, if I don't want to take my whole bullet journal with me to the store, I can just peel off this and take that list with me. So that kind of allows me to obviously not take this whole thing if I don't want to, so I don't lose it or something doesn't happen to it. And then that way I can, again, recycle these pages. All right, everyone, that was part 7. That is the end of Bullet Journaling for Beginners, an introductory guide to bullet journaling. I have really, really enjoyed doing this series with you guys, learning along with you on some new things, and being able to share and inspire you guys to start your own bullet journal for those of you who really didn't know a lot about bullet journaling. So I'm really excited that I got to share that with you guys. All of the videos in this series are gonna be on the playlist, which is the recommended playlist for you guys to watch. Eventually it'll be up here somewhere. And I hope you guys get to, if you haven't already watched all of them prior to this video coming out, I really, really encourage you guys to go back and watch it from the very beginning. I feel like you guys are gonna learn a lot and maybe laugh at some of my jokes. I don't know, I don't think I'm that funny, but other people do. Anyways, it has been great getting to talk with you guys for the past week. And don't forget, we still do put videos out every Thursday, so this channel isn't gonna be silent. I will see you all next Thursday. Have a great day.